if you come down the sides of your wrist here, you know that this is a radial side, and you'll be able to feel the radial styloid process. And come down over here, you'll have the bump, which is the ulnar head here, and you can feel the ulnar styloid process. You guys will get better at palpating the bones as you go in those styloid processes when you go over to Ron's side. But at least we're going to use those as kind of reference marks for some of the muscles today. So you guys should at least know that part. With the hand, a lot of times instead of referring to this medial or lateral, we're going to use ulnar or radial side. That way we don't get confused if we're turning around in different directions like this and trying to decide.
I know.
Sorry. No, it's okay.
You did. It must have been
So that way, if you're confused, like if we twist over like this, and you're thinking, well, this is medial, and in reality, in anatomical position, this is lateral, things like that. Okay. So let's just start with these. Flexor carpi radialis and palmaris longus and flexor carpi ulnaris. These all do flexion, and so we're going to start by putting our fingers, our resistance, kind of in the palm of his hand. And if you resist, don't let me bring you down. I can already see some. If you see here, you can see a couple of tendons popping up. Okay, and we'll relax for a second. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the kind of the radial styloid process and just work my way over to the ulnar side, right? And the first tendon I'm going to run into, that's going to be FCR, flexor carpi radialis. So if I do a little resistance here, that'll pop right into my fingers here. I can feel it. Now, not everyone has palmaris longus. We were taught either 14 or 15% of the population doesn't actually have a palmaris longus. I don't think Ron has one, or his wife, but yeah, you do. I can already see it. But what we can do for the palmaris longus is if we put our pinky and our thumb together like this. So if you put it together like this, and then I still resist in that same spot, and you'll see that little tendon right to the ulnar side of the flexor carpi radialis here that runs in and kind of spreads out into the palm right here. That's his palmaris longus. So he does actually have one there. So the next one we're going to look at is the FCU, flexor carpi ulnaris. Now, you guys haven't palpated the pisiform yet, but we will actually use that as a reference point. You can already kind of feel this tendon here, the one that's, if you just keep going ulnar, towards the ulnar side, you'll feel another tendon in the kind of the next one you come to. But another way we can do it is if we're coming from this kind of ulnar styloid process and coming more anterior, we'll run into this tendon here. So either doing that or running off the pisiform. Once you guys learn the pisiform, it's easy because it has some of its attachments right there. And so you just come off and you'll feel this tendon. So if I resist here, you guys feel that popping out. And you can typically feel it on yourself if you just go like this and palpate right there towards the ulnar side. So go ahead and just practice those three real quick. I want to make sure that we go slow enough where